Before this video starts, I want to just let you guys know that we do have our own official The Hytale Podcast Discord right now. Join with the link in the pinned comment to interact with the community, ask questions to be answered on the podcast, and be the first to find out updates regarding guests, uploads, and more. And now, enjoy the podcast.
Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Hytale Podcast. It is the premier Hytale podcast where we talk about Hytale and only Hytale. This week's podcast, we talk about blog posts and what we can expect from the next upcoming one. Because we have not had a blog post in a very, very long time. It has been 226 days as of the day of recording. When the podcast releases, it's actually been 227.
There you go.
I was about to look back because my memory's been
quick maths, you know.
So math is not my specialty. That's why I'm resorting to be a Hytale content creator, not a mathematician.
Exactly.
So, Hytale blog post. The last one we got was last July, and the 22nd, and it gave us pretty much what we didn't want to hear, which was a delay. A delay saying, hey, we are not going to be able to give you guys the game in 2023. So we are not getting a game this year. We know that for a fact. They didn't outline that there is no game next year.
They did not. They said nothing about 2024, I believe, in that blog post.
Do you think that is going to happen? Here, let me put my mic. Gotta move it. So if you hear a bit of rumbling, that is me moving the mic. There you go.
Well, I think they have to discuss something about the potential release of the game in the next blog post. I mean, that's obviously what all of us are looking for. I think that's probably number one on wish list for a blog post, and I'm sure you guys will hear when we go through some podcast questions. If you want to leave your podcast questions for the next pod, I don't know when we're gonna do it, but join the Discord. Links in the description. There's how many members we got now? Let's check.
We got a lot.
89. So if we can get 11 more, that'll be dope. Just saying.
Yes. So I think the majority of what I was able to read through the answers that I got, because I put out a poll in the Discord being like, hey, we want your feedback for the next episode. What do you guys think is going to be in the next blog post? And I think a majority of people were like, hey, we just kind of want a roadmap. We kind of let Hytale tell us where you are with progress, because they haven't told us. We have not heard anything in close to a year now, and it's been silence. So just understanding where they are and giving us a heads up of hey, maybe this will take more time, or it may not.
You never know.
That's the general consensus I've heard, and we'll go more into detail later in the episode. What is something specific that you want in the next blog post? Something that may not have been said.
Yes, besides a roadmap, and besides a beta release date or something like that, anything like that, just off that topic, I personally want to see more about combat, a little bit more about server development, maybe even a little bit about the story mode. I doubt we'll get anything like that, or maybe they'll introduce a new faction or something. I think that'll be cool, but I just want to see what they've been doing in the whole year that we've seen nothing from the game, and see how it sort of compares to what they had last year, or 2021, even 2020. I just want to see how much progress they are making.
Yeah. I am getting a bit tired of seeing more of the development side of the game, if I'm going to be completely honest, because a lot of the recent showcases have been hey, this is coding over here, or this is development over here. I want to see something that will more relate to me, the player. So hey, this is someone playing the game, and this is how this feature will affect the game, be it farming, or be it interacting with this specific clan, or just playing the game. How will it feel like when I launch the game? Something specific more towards playing the game more than features in the game. And I know that's kind of hard because they're trying to avoid spoilers, and I understand that, but helping me understand how it will feel to play Hytale is something I really want in the next blog post.
And I know a lot of games do this when they're really close to release. You know how some games release maybe 15 to 20 minutes of just raw in-game footage of like a level or like some sort of the story. I think Hytale could do something like that, probably like maybe 2 to maybe 5 minutes so they don't spoil much. But just something like that, just you see like a first person or whatever the default Hytale, like I guess playing aspect ratio, whatever the heck it is, something like that, where they just maybe they're just in the basics of Zone 1 and Buddy's just, you know, picking up sticks, making a little axe or something, chopping down a tree. Maybe he sees a Torque and he crouches around, doesn't interact with it for no spoilers, and then maybe just runs away, sees other wildlife. Something like that, just we can like just break down frame by frame, I think, which would be amazing.
Yeah, and regarding that, I was scrolling through the IGN's YouTube channel because I was just amazed. Like they upload so many videos per day.
So many.
Like and I clicked on the popular tab just to see what the most viewed videos are, and it's all just like those 10-minute like gameplay snippets, and their most viewed video is just 10 minutes of raw Spider-Man gameplay, the Spider-Man on the PlayStation.
It's crazy.
That's their most viewed video.
And I'm pretty sure Jedi Fallen Order, when they first released the game, was up there as well. Just 10 minutes.
That is also one of the gameplay clips up there. So those are super popular, and I think that I'm hoping that we can eventually get something like that. Maybe we can even play something like that, but I don't think that's
hey, our
around the corner.
email's down there, Hytale. Just letting you know.
I don't think us playing is around the corner, but hopefully, just some I'm actually leaning towards that now. Just some raw footage of someone playing the game. I want someone playing the game. We've gotten very, very selective gameplay clips. And I want people to understand the difference between selective gameplay clips and someone actually playing the game. Because the gameplay clips we've seen are essentially a scene. They've been very cherry-picked, I think is the right word.
They're selective as well.
Show what the developers want to show. So take the skeleton dungeon, for example. Everything in that video is exactly what they want us to see, be it the way the axe combat works, or the skeleton AI works, or how bad the main the person playing the game is, where they miss their spell at the end of the video, which
is funny.
Infuriates me every single time when I see that the book spell missed the skeleton at the end.
How could you?
I hate it.
How could you do that?
Every single time. I can't.
Should have cropped it out.
Yeah, just re-record it. I don't know. You guys have the game. That's off topic though. But those are like very selective scenes. A raw gameplay clip is just you loading into the world and playing the game. Obviously, you're gonna decide like, hey, I'm gonna go from here to here to here, but like it is in full motion. You are not like constraining yourself to only this dungeon, or take like the entering that Torque camp, only showing that scene.
Yeah, and I think probably the closest we've got to something like that was, do you remember there was a video a couple, I guess, years ago, this guy just walks into a house so you can hear the ambient sounds. That's pretty much like sort of what I expect, except longer and unpredictable. You just get some guy, open up OBS. Sorry?
And faster, because that one was really showcasing like all of the
noises.
That was like a sound effects one, right? To
yes, that's exactly what it was.
And the effects. So that was a lot slower to really let all of that sink in. But like a normal gameplay, you wouldn't be walking that slow. But yeah.
So like something in between the skeleton battle and the ambient sound thing, and then add like an extra 2, 3, 4 minutes to that would be ideal.
Yeah.
Right.
I definitely agree.
Yeah. So you want to get on to the first question here. This one is from Hugo. It's a long question, so good luck.
Well, it's not really a question. It's like what Hugo really
what he wants to see. Hugo really wants to see a roadmap, something that can keep us on the loop for a longer period of time. Blog posts every 3 to 4 months were fine, but now they release every 6 months. I mean, it's kind of like every year now at this point.
Now it's every 12 months.
Yeah. Something to follow like a roadmap would be nice. I really hope there are no more delays, and it would be cool to see new gameplay, some details on how systems work, adventure mode, stats, for example, weapons, armor, and that kind of stuff. Thanks, Hugo. Shout out to Hugo. Great channel. If you
I think he brings up a great point, saying systems like stats, because we really don't know how like the progression system works.
See, I was thinking like more weapon stats, right? Like what, this sword does that much damage, this armor protects you this much.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe both. I'll be fine with both.
Yeah, because they've said they don't want. Well, I don't remember exactly what they said, but I know they've like talked about how they don't want their progression and how kind of their progression is. But I want to know like, hey, can I just like upgrade this sword to be like really cool, or like how does that work? I don't know. I
Do you
don't
build
really
one?
know
Do you
much about
find
that. We have that one image that we still need to dissect.
one day?
Um, so don't worry, we haven't forgotten about that. But yeah, there's more
demon build.
information about how different statistics work about weapons and even the inventory. I mean, how does crafting work? How does crafting work?
I think that's a whole podcast on itself. Like we had like back in the day, this is like 2018, these UI interface blog posts that they had like before the trailer was released, like they had some images of like sort of crafting, but
Yeah.
I can guarantee you that has changed by now. Like that was
There's
that was
no
like
way that
5 years ago.
system is the same.
There's no way. Like maybe like yeah, sure, it's probably similar, and I'm sure it sort of looks the same a little bit, but I'm pretty sure Hytale was saying something about the UI recently, if I remember, unless that was a dream. I don't know. They might be changing it up, and so it'll be really cool to see how like crafting is, because we've seen literally nothing. Like, that's it, nothing at all.
Yeah. Crafting. Okay. That's actually one of my putting that on my list for the next blog post. Please
That'll be
talk
sick.
about how crafting or like that goes into progression, because like you start off with nothing. How do you get better stuff? Is it crafting? Is it foraging? Is it looting? Explain more of that. How do I become a better Hytale player?
Yeah,
Go more
exactly.
into that.
You don't want to be a noob with the stone sword for the whole time. You gotta get that fire sword. You gotta get them like demonic axes and stuff. And how you get them, we don't know. But either way, we got the fire sword in the skeleton battle chest, so maybe that's how you get that one. But maybe I don't know about the other ones. Next
Right,
question.
there's so many items.
Yeah, next one.
The next one is
RPG
from
Penguin.
RPG Penguin saying, "I would hope for a beta trailer." Hey,
Same, buddy.
we
Oh,
are all hoping for a beta
the
trailer.
live reactions for everybody if there's a beta trailer. Oh, it'd be awesome. YouTube will be flooded with beta reaction trailers.
And you can count on both of us making a reaction trailer.
We'll break it down frame by frame on the podcast.
Well,
Yeet
this guy's
gal.
gonna be at work, but
I will be,
actually,
but when I get
may
home.
actually be at work too.
When I get home.
become so busy. We may both be at work when the beta trailer drops, but we will make sure to get you guys our own reaction trailers out. Reaction trailer. Trailer
video.
reaction.
Trailer
There
reaction,
you
yeah,
go.
yeah.
That's English.
Yeet gal says 2025 delay, but I don't want that, so I don't want to talk about it. You good with that?
Okay, hold on. Let's talk about that. Best case, that is. How is 2025 the best? A 2025 delay, the best case?
I don't know. Like, I mean, best case would be like beta in December, right? Like, that's my opinion.
Beta December, release next year. That would be best case in my eyes, right?
I don't know. Maybe she's got like very low expectations, and that's like the best case scenario in her mind. But I don't know. Maybe, you never know. Spy Josh X. In my opinion, the next blog post will probably have at least some information on the business model, which I want to see. Surely they have worked out whether they want the game to be free to play or pay to play by now.
Okay.
This is a big one. This is huge.
I don't think they're gonna talk about the business model until they are like at the very end, like at the very very end, and I don't even know if they're gonna say it before or after the beta. If it's gonna be free or pay to play.
So
or like how they're monetizing.
If we get a trailer, there's many game trailers out there that say like pre-order now or sign up for beta now, which I mean the original Hytale trailer had sign up for beta. So I think if any of those are in there, like the way it's worded will basically determine what we think the business model will be, even if they don't confirm it. If it says pre-order now and it's like, then you can pre-order it. Obviously you can see how much it is, but
right.
I don't know. Like I agree with you. I think they'll probably wait a little bit longer, like at least after the beta or even during the beta for them to say like, oh yeah, this game's actually pretty sick. I want to get it out free for everybody. Or they can go the other route and be like, it would be nice to have some like instant cash, for the game. But yeah, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, so I'm although I know a lot of people are interested to see whether or not they might need to save up some money to be able to buy Hytale.
Yeah, at least save up $60. That's probably the maximum it'll be. That's
Yeah.
if it's
Well,
even paid at all.
yeah, I know the industry's like trying to go for 70.
Okay.
Though I don't think Hytale's going to be 70.
Those are like
So if you're
AAA
trying to
sports
save up
games.
money for Hytale, 60 is probably the highest you'll have to save up for.
Yeah.
If that is
I mean,
the
considering
case.
Minecraft's like $40 now, like I think you're fine.
Yeah, if it were pay to play, I don't think it would be 60. I think it would. I mean, it could be. I think it would be 40 as well.
Around Minecraft price, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it would be hard to be able to compete with a game that's already so dominant and be more expensive. I don't think that's a smart business model.
This is why the best model is free to play. Just throwing that out there because everybody can play the game if you have the minimum specs.
Some arguments in the comments. So I think if it were pay to play, I think it would have to be very competitive with Minecraft's pricing. Because if you're someone especially tight with money and you have the option of Minecraft or Hytale, and Hytale's this expensive, Minecraft's only this expensive, you have an easy choice. And it's not going to be Hytale. No, so
unless it's free.
I think that's something to consider.
Yes. So good question. What you want?
Very good discussion.
Yeah. I like that one. You want to read Radoon's?
Yes. Radoon said, to me, what I'd like to see is a roadmap. See, common trend here.
Wow.
And a greater understanding of the development journey. More specifically, I'd like to see them discuss future steps. However, what I believe we will be receiving information on is how redevelopment of the engine has impacted development and performance, as well as hopefully how it's going to benefit the Hytale as a whole. I genuinely don't expect much discussion on in-game mechanics as in the past, but rather back-end and hopefully more transparency as how things are going. The realist take.
The very realist take.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about that when Red was on the podcast the other week. What was he saying here? I don't remember. Development journey, however, receiving information. I guess we talked a little about how the engine will be like impacted, right, in a podcast recently, and then performance-wise.
Yeah.
I would like to see that as well. That'll be really cool. Maybe.
I do think they're definitely going to talk about the engine because that was the main reason for the break. So they have to justify their break.
Yeah, and it's good to get it over with as well. So then, if you know what the minimum, at least somewhat to what the minimum specs will be, then people can start saving up if they do have a system that's under those specifications and they really want to play Hytale. Yeah.
I also think that that's going to be either in the first or second paragraph. Well, the first paragraph's going to be like, "Hey, welcome back. We're
live."
Talking about a lot of things, and it's going to be like a summary of what they're going to be talking about. And the second paragraph is going to jump straight into, recently we've just been working on redeveloping the engine, blah, 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 and this is what has been working. So I definitely think that's, you can honestly quote me on that. That is exactly what the blog post is going to look like.
Probably.
What's going to happen below it, I don't really know. But yeah, I think that's what the first few paragraphs are going to look like.
About
the redevelopment.
I believe, wasn't that the first sentence, besides the hello sentence in the most recent blog?
I think I have it pulled up. Let me look. Some relevant tech changes. Yep.
Yeah.
It's hi everyone. In this year, one we're going to provide an update, and then the next one, it talks about the tech changes. So I think it's going to be in a similar format, and then it talks about some other changes or updates they've done. So I think they're doing a copy paste of the same format.
Yeah, I mean it works, so it doesn't really matter. I really care how blog posts are formatted anyway. I just want to see stuff. Yeah, so good question, or good one, Radoons. We'll have to get you on the pod again, by the way. If you guys don't know, he does Minecraft videos. Nurax says, I think the next blog post will be posted when they finish rewriting the engine, so they can give us more precise and realistic informations. Well, that might be a while then.
Yeah. So I also agree with this statement because it would be awkward to. I don't know how awkward it would be, but it would be kind of awkward to come back with the next blog post and be like, hey, so we've been gone for a year redeveloping the engine. We're not done yet. Okay, bye.
We're still
You know?
redoing it. Yay.
Yeah.
See you next year.
So I kind of agree with that. I would hope that
Will they do that though?
they're like kind of done in July-ish.
Well, their prediction, like, earliest prediction was, like, 2023 anyway, so I assume they're on, like, at least on the back end of redeveloping the engine,
Right.
unless something, like, catastrophic has happened, but there's been a lot of, like, new hires recently, so I think things are sort of working pretty well
Right.
now.
And it's not like they've only been working on the redevelopment the second they post the blog post.
Yeah.
That's only when they've announced it to us. I'm sure they've been working on it for a very long time before the blog post, and that's when they decided to announce this. So they've had a lot of time to be able to work on it. I'm just not very familiar with how game development, and especially
Same,
a
bud.
redevelopment of an entire engine works.
I
So
dropped computer science.
I just have to give faith in the developers
Yeah.
to say they know what they're doing. And obviously they are very skilled and they are in the positions for a reason. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to let them do their thing and believe that they know what they're doing and they are doing what's best for the game. So
For sure.
that's the only statement I can really give out.
I completely agree. Like, I know nothing about game development and all that, so I trust them. They've already built Hytale to what it is right now, so I think they can just, I mean, they're the only ones who can make it better, so all power to them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The next one is from Gamer Thacker. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Still interested in how multiplayer works because we know a lot about adventure mode already, and also excited to see the benefits / upgrades coming from the engine redesign.
Oh wow, common theme as well.
Well, it could be game changing, like those slide and climb mechanics, or the overall and movement and combat experience. I'm gonna be honest. I completely forgot about the slide and climb mechanics.
What was that, like mounting, something
Yeah,
like that?
yeah, the mounting. That like completely slipped my mind.
Mm-hmm.
That even exists.
Well, that was in like a little like 2 second clip in that like secondary Riot Hytale trailer thing that they did at some game fest or whatever.
Yeah,
So
it's such a huge feature.
but it's massive. Like you literally climb up there, you get the little biceps going, pull yourself up. You know, it's really cool. Really cool how they do that.
Yeah, so Gamer T, I'm just not even gonna try to pronounce that second word. Really wants to know how multiplayer is gonna work, and
Me too, my friend.
yeah, I think Chris is your biggest supporter when it comes to that. We haven't seen any multiplayer things.
We've seen a little bit of like the server overview page, and then all the stuff we've seen in like the trailer and those old 2018 promo shots.
Recently.
No,
That's
nothing
like
at all recently.
Like post trailer and then silence from multiplayer, right?
You know, for sure. Like, haven't seen anything. Like, one, I want to know how to create a server, if it'll cost money or whatever to get it hosted. Who really knows? I believe Hytale said they're gonna have their own hosting anyway. I think it was. So I assume it'll cost money. But if it's free, I mean, like that'll be pretty sick. And maybe the Hytale team takes like money.
To play, there could be like a really basic one, like server to be able to play with your friends,
You can host
and then like
10
upgrade
people, maybe.
options to be able to host bigger servers, and that's a good way to monetize the game.
Yeah,
Because
and
if you're just like a regular player, you don't really need much more than just a small server to be able to play with your friends. But if you really want to provide a bigger experience, then you're able to support the game by doing that.
exactly. Like,
So,
I want to create a server, so
thinking about.
I want to know how it's done. And I mean, it'll be really cool if in the beta, like the server creation technology is included in that to get some servers going like before the game's fully launched. So it's not just only Hypixel or only like day one, just like open world SMPs that like I'm sure a lot of people will play, but they're all going to be the same pretty much. So I'd like to see that, and it'd be cool to have more options basically once the game fully launches.
Yeah, I agree. Man, the movement abilities. It's so crazy that I forgot about that because I remember that was like my favorite part about the blog post.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm really a big fan of a game called Apex Legends, and that just has like really crisp movement. That's like one of the
Mm-hmm.
best movement games in like the first person shooter genre right now. And it's just because of the way you're able to move your character and the fact that Hytale is showing that it's allowing you to be able to move your character a lot more fluidly, especially a lot more fluidly than a game like Minecraft,
Yeah.
is exciting for me because that's what I love doing a lot. And especially, I mean, I think everyone's done it. In Minecraft, there's just moments where I think it happens a lot more when I'm in a call with someone. You just run in circles in Minecraft. It just happens. You just like kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Um,
Do a little
and if
parkour.
you have cool movement abilities, you can be running in circles, mounting, sliding down mountains and all that, and that can be a lot more interesting.
It could be, and like the with all those like the parkour capabilities for all those
Oh
parkour
my
fans
God,
out
yeah.
there would be insane. And now it's not just going to be ladder to fence post to like running around cactuses and like in Minecraft. It'll be like, oh, so I can only get to this block up here if I do the little mounting technique, and then you slide down a bridge, do a little double backflip, kickflip jump onto like a cactus or something. That'll be so cool, and I am excited to see what the builders do with that.
Oh yeah, parkour fans are gonna have a frenzy when Hytale comes out.
Oh, definitely. And imagine like different parkour with like different weapons because you know how they give you different movements, like the little dashes with the daggers, or oh, it'd
Oh
be
my
so
God, like
awesome,
dagger parkour
so
or
cool.
like hammer park.
Oh,
The
damn it!
possibilities.
Oh
The
my, it's endless.
possibilities.
It's endless. I don't think anybody's ever even spoken about that before,
Nope,
so you heard
nope.
it
I
here
think we're
first.
the world's first.
World's first in the premier
Wow.
Talking Hightail podcast.
And this is why you guys listen to it.
Yeah, we come up with some crazy ideas and we find things that probably should have been found years ago.
It's actually crazy that I've never heard about the idea of like weapon parkour, but that is something that's going to be able to be possible in Hytale.
It is. Like,
It's
what
so
do we
exciting.
have anything like that in Minecraft at all? Like, are there weapons that give you knockback at all? Like going backwards, maybe? But
The closest thing I can think about is like, you know how you can shoot yourself with a bow?
yeah. Oh, and you go a little like you shoot it up, it comes down, and you move forward a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
bit.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
like the closest thing I can think of.
Yeah, maybe like Ender Pearl parkour, something like that. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah. Let's go to the next one here. This is from Dusty Porcupine. I think they may show an updated multiplayer server hub. That would be lit. The original videos only showed us 6 or so mini games, but the Hypixel server has tons more. The hub has also probably changed in the years since they've shown it. For sure. I
Yeah.
believe the hub that they had back in the 2018 was like back when like it's sort of similar or was related to what they have on the Hypixel Minecraft server
Oh yeah, definitely.
but Hypixel has changed their like main lobby since then. So I wouldn't be surprised if Hytale changed their main lobby as well. And obviously they added a whole bunch of new technology and just a bunch of new blocks to the game. Obviously, in like the 5 years that we've been doing this and talking about Hytale. So yeah, I'm sure it looks completely different. And I want to see Server Hub because there's a lot of cool things and there's a lot of new games on Hypixel, like Skyblock. I don't even think that was around when Hytale came out, or not came out, but like
I believe it was.
it was. It was probably just
Yeah,
starting
yeah, I
then.
think it was like just starting out.
Yeah. So who knew how big Skyblock would have become, right? So that's really cool.
Yeah, and I think the reason we saw a lot of Hypixel minigames in Hytale was because I think even the devs just didn't know a lot of the capabilities and opportunities that Hytale is able to bring. But now they've had what like 5 more years to be able to play with the game, so they understand what they are able to use the engine for
Hmm.
to build new games. So they've had like they were basically able to copy paste the games from Minecraft to Hytale, but now that they're able to see like, hey, we can actually do so many cool things in Hytale. I'm
Hmm.
sure that the next time we see mini games, we're gonna be like, whoa,
Whoa.
this is possible.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
there's so many games. I mean, I know for a fact that I mean the reason why Hytale is created is because Minecraft is too limiting for Hypixel,
Hmm.
and so Hytale is able to break those limitations. And this is just the beginning to see how the team is able to break those limitations.
Exactly, and also that trailer back in the day was just an announcement trailer. They advertised it for like years on like any Hypixel. I think where you claim those chests in Hypixel. I believe you can click the literally it clicks you. It's a direct link to the trailer, and those I mean literally doing that you are a Hypixel player. So then if you see those Hypixel mini games that you're familiar with in a trailer of a game that Hypixel is making, it'll make you just more enticed to play it as well.
Right. There's that familiarity aspect.
For sure. What else was he saying here? The hub exchange mini games. Yeah, I think we covered that one. There's a lot of like repeating in this, but we're just trying to get everybody's questions and whatever's out here. You want to do the next one?
Yes. X Tycho says last December they were saying the redevelopment of the engine is going well. I'm not sure the date on that is correct. And they are and they're evolving Orbis is exciting ways, and that it was too early to share more. So they will definitely talk about the engine rework and give us a roadmap to the beta if they are generous. I hope they will be a little more forward in giving timings on updates about the game. Yeah, so I think we've covered pretty much most of that.
Yeah, I would like to see if there's any adventure mode improvements, so that'll be really cool.
Yeah. Hytale X says, hopefully the next blog post will feature a development roadmap.
There we go. There you go.
That everyone can have a general idea of what has been completed and what is left to be completed before we can expect a beta release or full release of Hytale. Devs, if you are listening, this is what the people want.
They want a roadmap.
Territe says the new blog post will probably talk about stuff like fishing. Interesting.
That was the most important thing according to Twitter.
And future release date estimates. But I would like to see something on Zone 5 and 6 and other planets' dimensions that they have alluded to, but there isn't much info on right now. Also, something about free-to-play versus pay-to-play. And if free-to-play, what will an in-app purchases be? So we've already pretty much covered the free-to-play versus pay-to-play argument, but you bring up a good point about the different zones or planets. So what do you think about that, Chris?
Oh, I would love to see some information about Zone 5 and Zone 6. I personally don't think they will say anything about it, because they left it out of that one concept art for a reason. It's because they want it to be a surprise. They don't want to spoil everything about Hytale. And like if what we're projecting is right with the floating islands in Zone 5, that obviously has something to do with the story of the game, which we know they don't want to spoil. It'd be cool if we got some little teaser shots, maybe like you see a little cloud somewhere, maybe this little like structure on top that we can, get our like juices flowing or something, or our theories going. But I would love to see that, and even more depth of like the jungles of Zone 4, maybe a little bit of those like undead biomes that we've seen in Zone 3, and who knows, maybe like other things in Zone 2 and Zone 1 that we just never seen before.
Yeah, so my opinion of what Zone 5 and Zone 6 are going to be is they are going to have some crazy release trailers or like announcement trailers for what they're going to be, but I think they're going to release that later on when we have either a beta or know a lot of information about the game. I think they want to, because when they show that off, it's going to be really hype, in my opinion.
I'll be screaming, dude. I'll be screaming.
I think though that has the capability to bring a lot of attention to the game, more than it already has. So I think the best like play for the team is to have already like a ground, that's not the right word, like a basis of interest already. So have the hype back, have people interested in the game, and then drop this like massive bomb like, oh you like this game, check out what this game also has. And then crazy. It's like boom, Zone 5 and 6.
And imagine right at the end Varen shows up with this like Thanos voice acting. It's like, oh god,
but it's okay, they tease Varen, but it's like 1 to 2 seconds and he comes out of the darkness, and it's like and then it just cuts to like a date.
Oh god, stop it. Oh
my god.
Or imagine they had like a cutscene between like a Varen and Gaia fight. Oh my god, I'd pass out. That'd be crazy. That would be insane.
Hytale, let me direct your trailers.
Oh please, let me give you ideas, please. I'm sure they're way more creative than we are.
I want to be your creative director for these.
I
Biome.
believe that's a job position, right, on the website, but like a lead director or something. Let's move on to the next one. Great question though, or not question. I don't even know what to call these, but like I like the way you're thinking. Territe, I think that's how you pronounce it. Mikey Q says, I'd love to know about core game mechanics, for example, crafting, moving between zones, how the game is played rather than what's in it, and a roadmap. But let's talk about moving through zones because we haven't really talked about that. We talked about crafting already, but yeah, how do you think that'll really work, right? Like, I mean, we know like they border each other, so you could just walk through, but we don't know how big the zones are. We don't really know like much else around it.
So we know that zones are just like regions that contain a bunch of biomes that
Yeah,
have like a certain, I guess the best way to describe it is like temperature, I guess.
pretty
Because
much because they're all very
zone
different.
1 is like moderate temperature, zone 2 is hot temperature, and zone 3 is cold temperature,
Mm.
roughly said.
And then zone four is like,
Um,
what the hell? It's like flip to zone one pretty much.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Um, so I think there's they're just gonna have transitioning biomes. I don't know. I don't.
Like we've seen images, like it's usually like a plains biome or something like sort of common in between that like transitions to zones. So
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna have like some really harsh like. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be like two really contrasting biomes. I think they're just gonna make it really smooth transitions between the two.
yeah,
It's
it's not
kind of
gonna be
hard
like
to
Minecraft, right?
describe
It's
to
not gonna be
people.
like desert to like what's the snow biome called? I don't even know, but like
I don't know. Oh yeah, yeah. Like imagine like a really dry desert and then like a really really snowy like Arctic.
yeah, exactly. It's sort of, I guess if you're really thinking about it, like, I mean, bringing this back to One Piece, like, there's this island called Punk Hazard. One side is ice, one side's like lava. It's not gonna be like that, and there's a little like lake in between. So it can't be like. I mean, it could be. I mean, that would be
I
really
feel
cool.
like the underground's a zone 4 though.
Yeah, exactly. It could potentially be like that. But yeah, we're not gonna see just like desert camels and stuff, and then like a polar bear on the other side of the lake. So
Right. That's like your science textbooks when they try to explain like the different
yeah, seriously.
how the world works and how the terrain generates using gamer terminology
Terrain
for real.
generates for the world.
Like,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean.
Yeah, tectonic plates and all those things.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
all that stuff.
Yeah. Noah, this is a pretty good one here. The new blog will be update the general progress from the console and mobile version, and maybe they'll show us controller UI.
Okay, I'm gonna interject here. When I read, maybe they will show us controller UI. I read controller UI. I don't know why, as like Wii U, and I'm like, the game will not be on the Wii U. I'm like, what?
If anything, it'll be on the Switch.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'll be cool. I mean, I assume it'll probably be very similar to like any other cross-platform game out there. You can customize your own settings on your like Xbox controller or your PlayStation controller. Then they'll have its own setting for keyboard and I guess phone will be like a little touchpad like Minecraft's Pocket Edition. But that's just how I assume it'll be. But who knows? Could be
yeah,
something different.
yeah. I really don't think the. I say this as a PC player, and I know a lot of console players may care, but I don't think the showing the console UI is going to be that important because it's just going to work.
It's just a
Poorly
game, right?
said, but um, I don't know. I think it's just going to be similar to Minecraft.
Yeah, I mean, we're PC players, so we can't really relate to that. I guess if you're like a PlayStation or an Xbox player, then it's more important to you. But to us, it's like we click WASD to go forward, backwards, and side to side. So,
Yeah. I do know that for some games, controller layouts can be annoying.
mm-hmm.
And like sometimes you just have like
Why if they're
to
not
do certain
customizable?
inputs, you just like have to move your fingers in a really weird way.
Oh,
So one thing that Hytale can hopefully do is either A, well, this is best case scenario, is just let you reassign all of your buttons freely. That's like best
they
case
should.
scenario, and I don't know. Here's the thing,
Does
and this
Minecraft
is
do
going to be
that?
surprising because I know like in the PC world, games let you do this. Like you can just assign any key to any like action, but in controller games, they don't let you reassign any button to any like move.
Hmm.
It's weird. They sometimes have like controller presets. Sometimes they don't let you reassign anything at all, and sometimes they do let you reassign everything. So
Interesting.
I hope Hytale gives you the freedom to be able to make your own controller binds to be able to let you play at your own discretion. Because I don't know, I feel like
Hmm.
giving the players freedom to be able to choose their own comfort levels. Because sometimes people may have say like they might have like a disability with their fingers, and certain inputs are just difficult to do,
Hmm.
and they do need to reassign certain buttons, but some games just don't allow that. They need to reassign that. So
Yeah.
even like accessibility features, and that's a completely different topic. I hope that Hytale does have a lot of accessibility features such as color blindness, and helping a lot of like deaf features and all that. That's a
I'm sure they
completely
will.
different
I'm sure
topic,
they
but
will. Like
um,
Ethan's colorblind, right? So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, and
he's been like
I have a
vouching
lot
for
of
that.
colorblind friends too, so I
Yeah.
know that's a very important thing for game developers to do. But like staying on topic with the controller UI, yeah, I just hope that Hytale is going to be able to let you reassign your buttons or
Hmm.
have like different controller presets.
For sure. I mean, I think they will just because most empowered game thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Med Pack. This is a new one. Hoping for a new soundtrack, and this seems like a common theme in like most blog posts. There usually is some sort of like music OST going along with them. So yeah, I like to hear a new soundtrack. I believe the most recent one we got was Into the Endless Sky, if I got the name right.
I will double
Maybe,
check that for
unless
you.
they released another one, the one with the little sword and that person standing there. I forget what it was called, but what's the most recent? If you can look up Hytale's YouTube
Yes,
channel.
it is Heroes of
Ah,
Orbis.
that's the other one. Okay, so Into the Endless Sky is probably the one before that then.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, yeah. So I like to hear a soundtrack.
Yeah, I will never complain about hearing more music from Oscar Garvin. I love his work, and yeah, it's just fantastic music to put on when you're doing something like homework, studying,
Hmm.
just want to calm down, relaxing, whatever you want to do.
Play some high chill music.
Even driving home from work, whatever
Listen,
you want to.
I mean, I recommend
Music.
listening to the podcast, but I mean, if you want to listen to
Just
high chill music, you can.
don't crash into a family of three.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um,
AK is
Next,
next.
well, this is a podcast question and not really relating to the blog post.
Mm.
Um, Mikey Q once again talks about inventory showcase, and funny enough, we did talk about that. The inventory showcase. Um, we have seen an inventory showcase, but we kind of want to see more about like the crafting and how
Yeah.
inventory interactivity works. I think that's kind of what Mikey was going for.
Hmm.
How the yeah, just how the inventory works.
For sure. I mean, it looks sort of similar to how Minecraft is, and we know they have the what are those little circles called where you can select what item you want to put in like your off hands or your free hands. I forget the name of them. I forget, but I know it has something to do with. It's a little more in depth than Minecraft inventory. Like it's got those. So I like to see a little more in depth of how it is. Like, is there like a small little crafting box like there is in Minecraft? Maybe, I assume so, but who knows? I mean, I'd like to see it.
Yep. So Vin Swarm says he wants to see more gameplay, update on the new engine, new modding feature showcases, and a possible 2025. What's wrong with you? Sorry. Why do you want to see a 2025 delay?
I don't know. I
This
don't
is
know
the
what's with these
second
people. Come
time.
on. If anything, just say like a 2023 early progress report or something.
This is the second time someone's asked for a 2025 delay.
I tell, don't listen to them. Just saying, next
What?
year would be great if we could have the game. That would be great. We're also quite biased on that side, though.
No bias here.
No, never. Never in the
We
Premier
are an
Talking Hytale podcast.
unbiased news source. We are news.
Basically,
So
like your
what we
number one
say is
news source. Yeah. 'Cause,
correct.
weekly podcasts here, by the way. Just letting you know. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see modding features. Just to see how it works. I probably won't really get into modding. If anything, I'll get more into, you know, like server creation and all that. But I guess modding sort of plays like a part in that, so that's cool.
Yeah, we are probably the two least qualified people to talk about modding features, because we don't really care about modding.
No,
I know
no,
a
but
lot
like
of people that do care about modding, and
a lot, like
definitely
all of them.
ask for more people, or ask for more features about modding, and more information about that. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just not.
our modding friend should start a Hytale modding podcast, so all the modding questions can get direct to them.
Yeah,
Okay, we got one more here actually. I think it is.
Ooh.
Is it Jim DeFish?
Jimmy DeFit.
Jimmy DeFish. Sorry, Jimmy DeFish. What fish? Jimmy DeFish. Cool name. I hope the blog post shows the player HUD and a release roadmap.
Release roadmap. There it is. It just
There.
keeps coming up.
What is? Are we gonna title this podcast the Hytale Roadmap?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I do like HUDs though. So,
Mm.
yeah, I don't know. It's so useless. Like, it does not help whatsoever.
No.
You don't get to learn
Customizing.
anything about the game. I don't know. I just like seeing pretty HUDs. So,
Yeah, I can't have an ugly player HUD.
although I actually don't want to see it because it clogs up space
Yeah.
for actual useful information. Jimmy DeFish, I'm sympathetic with you. I understand where you're coming from. I like looking at pretty HUDs too. I do, however, don't want to see it on the blog post just because I want to see a lot of other things first.
Mm-hmm. That could be like, you know, the beta release blog post, or, you know, an FAQ blog post. That'd be cool if we got one of those.
I think HUD just qualifies under gameplay. Because you see the HUD in any kind of gameplay, or say
Yeah.
like when they're talking about crafting or inventory, that is all HUD. So
Exactly.
yeah,
Plus,
it all falls under that.
If we get that, you know, 5 minutes of raw, uncut gameplay, it can be somebody on their desktop double-clicking the Hytale launcher or whatever they use to launch the game. Then they maybe scroll through, like, adventure mode, single player, multiplayer, or the options, the settings
Oh my
button.
god. Okay, I want to add something to my list. I want to see the main menu, just like see someone create a world.
Exactly. That could be part of the HUD, right?
Yeah,
Like, that's everything that we want to see. So... And you see the little loading screen, you load into the game, you get spawn camped by a Chork, like everything would be great. So I want to see the HUD.
By a Yeti.
Yes, that's gonna happen. If not, someone will make a mod about that and it'll be funny. That'll go back to modding features. But there is one more thing I want to say. I would also like to see a little bit on like the character creation system. Like they've had dropped like little teasers like in not recent blog posts, but like some in like 2020. There's like a little sliding scale, I think, of color, I believe it is. And then obviously we saw the little like clip, and if you slow it down in the trailer, there's so many different customizing options. But imagine just like a 10-second clip of them just running through everything in like supersonic speed. You throw that into like 0.25 speed so you can see it all. Oh, it'd be awesome. Like I just want to look at all
Did
the
they not
things.
show character customization in the Riot trailer?
I think they did a little bit, but I want to see more because I like looking at that kind of stuff.
That's fair.
Yeah. That was it. That's all what people wanted to see in the next blog post. It's a little shorter podcast today, but we are on a slight time crunch because we're busy. So our bad. But
But we try to find time to get this podcast out for you. So thank you guys so much for watching.
Yep.
As always, podcast is also on Spotify. Join the Discord down in the description. And we want to thank you guys so much for watching. All right. Thank you so much.